In a surprise that's making heads turn around the country, New York Attorney General Letitia James, most famously for suing former President Donald Trump in a blockbuster $454 million fraud lawsuit, is herself in the hot seat. The person who once accused others of lying is now being referred to a federal criminal charge for mortgage fraud. Is this karma, political payback, or just another day in American politics? Stick with us as we go deep into what is happening, the accusations, the potential repercussions, and what this might mean down the line. Letitia James is not unfamiliar with the glare of the limelight. As New York's first African-American Attorney General and the state's first elected female Attorney General, she grabbed headlines by going toe-to-toe with some of the most influential names in politics and commerce. Recently, James led the Trump case against Donald Trump and the Trump Organization, obtaining a $454 million civil judgment for purported business fraud, charging Trump with artificially inflating the values of his assets to secure improved loan terms. She was welcomed by many as a hero. But now, she's having legal issues too. So, what is Letitia James accused of exactly? According to a criminal referral filed by the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, with the Department of Justice, Letitia James could have engaged in mortgage fraud through a string of purported misrepresentations that have spanned decades. Allegation number 1. She reportedly claimed a Virginia property as her primary residence, even though she worked and lived in New York. Why is that important? Well, if you claim a property as your primary residence, you might qualify for more favorable mortgage rates and terms. If this is found to be untrue, it may constitute mortgage fraud. Allegation number 2. A Brooklyn property that she owns was apparently misrepresented as a 4-unit dwelling when it is actually a 5-unit building. Zoning, loanworthiness, and terms of financing differ on the basis of this difference. A 5-unit property usually requires a commercial loan, riskier and pricier. Once again, if the documents were knowingly fudged or misrepresented, that would amount to fraud. Allegation number 3. On old mortgage forms submitted in 1983 and 2000, James stands charged with citing her father as her husband. This odd footnote may have been a method of becoming qualified for loans she otherwise would not be qualified for, based on income requirements or marital status requirements. If true, serious charges, not insignificant technicalities. The criminal referral was made by the Federal Housing Finance Agency, the same government agency that oversees Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Their role is to ensure housing loans are being done fairly and legally. If they do find potential fraud, they're required to report it to the Department of Justice. The referral does not constitute proof that Letitia James is guilty or even officially under investigation, yet. But it does indicate the Department of Justice is now being asked to look at the evidence and decide if it will pursue a formal criminal investigation. There was only a matter of weeks that had passed since Letitia James had spearheaded one of the highest-profile legal assaults on Donald Trump. That the timing is sparking intrigue, particularly among her base who contend this is political revenge. Could this be Trump supporters lashing out? Some say yes. Others maintain that no one is above the law, and if there is evidence that James herself falsified mortgage documents, she should be prosecuted just like anyone else. Nevertheless, the case has made for a dramatic tale. The prosecutor turned accused. The woman who said she was holding the powerful accountable is now being held accountable herself. Irony or justice? Legal analysts are walking on eggshells. Although serious claims are made, the case is entirely dependent on evidence. Misstating property information or submitting faulty mortgage papers might actually qualify as a basis for federal prosecution, experts say, but only where intent to defraud can be established. And in aged cases, such as the 1983 and 2000 application statutes of limitations, might apply. That is, even if wrongdoing did occur, it may already be too late to prosecute. As of this writing, the Department of Justice has made no public moves. No official investigation has been announced, and Letitia James has not publicly replied to the charges. But the court of public opinion? That is already a buzz. So what's next? The DOJ will consider the referral and evaluate the evidence. If they think there's sufficient to go further, they might initiate a formal investigation. From there, if they get clear intent and bogus documents, then criminal charges are possible. But remember, this process might take months, and with the political glare on James, whatever decision is made will be carefully examined. In the meantime, James remains on the job as Attorney General, at least for the time being. Letitia James has made a career out of bringing down big shots, fighting against corporate excess, and pursuing justice. Now, however, she finds herself in the same position she had accused others of being in, under the microscope, and perhaps facing legal jeopardy. Will the charges hold? Is this karma or conspiracy, justice or revenge? Only time and evidence will tell. Undefined. Until then, the saga continues. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for follow-up as we track this unfolding case. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Letitia James is being targeted, or is this merely justice working both ways?